Hey, good morning. It's me. Not yet. Hey, good morning. It is Spider Day today. Let's see what we got. So here we are. We got a few spiders in yesterday. Not a ton, not enough to fill the table all the way up. But we got ourselves this little guy here. It was a little dehydrated coming in, but gave it a water dish and it's looking much better now. So we've never had one of these before. Little emerald skeleton tarantula. We'll take a closer look, as well as a few more off the wall things, and a big one that we will get to briefly. And so here we are. Here is the newbies. We have got a little P. marinus, that is the orange bitey thing, orange baboon tarantula. These guys, I mean, he's just a little fella now. You can't, doesn't look like much, but these guys will get 4, 5, maybe even 6-inch leg span in some large individuals. Bright orange, quite bitey. Now let's see what else we have got here. This little one here, this fasciatus, the tiger rump tarantula. This is a dwarf species, kind of like the pumpkin patch, but a little bit more stripy into adulthood, whereas the pumpkin patch just has that little heart on its butt. And this one is dug right in, right about here, so we can't really see it. I'm not going to dig him out. I don't want to pester him too much. He's still just a tiny fella. Now let's take a look at our bigger spiders that we got. We've got this lovely Singapore blue here. There you are. As you can probably guess, this is an old world species. Let's throw some flash up. There we go. Now we can see things a little better. So there he is, all huddled down in there. Had a long trip yesterday, so he's just hunkered down in his webbing, as one does. And we've also got, close that up there, this one here. This is the newbie. We've never had an emerald skeleton tarantula in here before, but look at that. Isn't that cool? I love the sheen on the abdomen there. Emerald is a really good name for these guys, and the skeleton part of the name comes from the like if you see on its knees and whatnot, it's got those little rings there, kind of makes it look a little skeletal. So yeah, that's a decent size already. And then the real cool thing we got in here, you can probably guess based off of the label, but that gives us a better idea of what we're looking at. A good old emperor scorpion. This is actually a new one for me, believe it or not. These are not especially uncommon, or at least they didn't used to be. They're a little harder to come by now. It's usually the Asian forest scorpions you'll see as a stand-in, but the claws on these guys are significantly bigger, which tells you that this is not a terribly toxic scorpion. A general rule of thumb, this doesn't always apply, but this is a pretty good general rule of thumb, is if those pinchers are huge, that's because that's primarily what he's using, so that sting isn't going to pack too much of a punch. Whereas you see a scorpion with teeny, dainty little pinchers on it, that probably means that venom packs a bit more of a hit. But this one, as you can see, is far too big for this container. It can't stay in here, so we're going to make him a little tank. And so, I went up into the attic and I pulled down an old beat-up, water-stained, junky 10-gallon tank that we had laying around. And this is going to be a lovely new enclosure for this scorpion. But first, we've got to make it look, well, better than this. So we've got our handy-dandy scrapey razor, we've got some trifectant Vertcon cleaner, and we're just going to go to town on this thing. Alrighty, now that that is all squeaky clean, before we get to building, we gotta put a little background on there. These guys like a sense of security, so I like to potentially have one wall covered so they feel more safe. I didn't have any deep forest ones, so this is the next best thing. It was this or desert, and these are no desert spider. Well, they're no spider at all. They're no desert scorpion, though. Alrighty, with that applied, we now need some substrate in there. These guys like to burrow for a sense of security, so we want to make sure we give them that option. Now these are a bit more of a humid species. These guys like to sit at around 60-70% relative humidity, so we need to make sure we're using a substrate that can maintain that, as opposed to some of your desert scorpions, which you'd use a bit of a sandier, drier substrate for. So let's load some of that in there. The more the better. Deep substrate means more opportunities for these guys to dig down. So we're going to use all the substrate that I've got put together here. And what better things to hide under and climb on than some cork bark and some sticks. And plants. We'll need some plants as well because we're going bioactive with this one. That means that this is going to be basically a self-cleaning enclosure. As long as there's living plants and the cleanup crew in here are doing okay, this waste made by the scorpion is going to get processed by our little isopods and turned into plant food. But let's start off by sort of roughing things out here and seeing how we want things to rest in this enclosure. And there we have it. We've got a lovely little enclosure put together for our emperor scorpion, which we're not keeping. This is going to be up for sale. So if you want an emperor scorpion, you know where to find us. And there he is. Let's get him put in his enclosure here before I get pinched and or stungified. Not that these guys really have a mean disposition. They're generally pretty chill. He's probably not quite cognizant of the fact that he's getting handled. He's going on the other side of my hand. See, this is only the second time I've really handled a scorpion, so I'm not accustomed to this, but let's get him put in his enclosure so I can go empty my pants and have some more coffee. Ow! He keeps doing it. Where's the tank? Stop it. Stop it.
What's the issue?
I'm not a fan of this, Amber. Ow! I know he's just moving, and I know he's just a harmless, he's just a little guy, but just gets me. Can you grab the phone so I can, like, have two hands to do this, because now he's going closer to my elbow.
Eric's scared.
I'm not scared. This is just a kind of new-ish experience. There you go, little buddy. Climb on those things. No, just get off of me, please. Thank you.
Happy.
And there he goes. It's much cuter when he's not on me. Sorry, almost lost my cool there.